Mortgage market? Join us for another episode of FDM Brews to learn more about trends and updates in the mortgage industry that can help you get your clients pre-approved for the home of their dreams.
Happy Friday, Brett.
Happy Friday, Cindy.
Oh my goodness, we're pumped. We're caffeinated. We are ready for this weekend and shopping for some deals, eh?
Absolutely. We are pumped. Way too much caffeine this morning, but it's a great way to start the weekend.
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited because we took a little break with our show here, but with season and everything settling in the right spot, now's a perfect time to reach back out to agents and look for strategies to grow, to continue growing their business, regardless of the market situations. I know, like, it gets a little crazy with what's in the news, but solid sales strategies really prevail, right?
Absolutely, Cindy. I think we get a lot of news in the marketplace. Sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's positive, right? So it's hard to kind of filter through that. There's opportunities for success in this marketplace for your clients looking. We maybe have to change our strategy a little bit and what we're looking for and where those opportunities are. But even in a crazed market, we had a crazy market in 2020 and 21. The market was crazy. Volume was falling out of the sky. People were putting on multiple offers and everyone was paying more. And then we had a pause in the fourth quarter of 22, even into the first quarter of 23. I'd say the market paused. It normalized a little bit. It was kind of what we used to see in a market. And, we encouraged a lot of people, hey, this is when you want to come into the marketplace and buy. Unfortunately, some people decided to wait for whatever reason, and now we're back into a little more frenzied market, but there are opportunities out there. We just need to know where to look.
Absolutely. And, something interesting we were talking about is there's really two segments of listings out there, right? Like, there are some that are moving like this, and then some that are taking a little bit longer, right?
Absolutely, Cindy. I call it a bifurcated market. It's almost like a 50-50 raffle. We look at a 50-50 market today, and it's a 50% of the market are what I call first weekend listings, right? Mm-hmm. They're in demand, and they listed on Wednesday. It's sold before the first weekend is over. That's very similar to what we saw in 2020 and 21. And we're seeing that now as we enter into the traditional spring selling season. So I'd say half of the market, and this is actually backed up by the data in the marketplace. So half of the market is in that 50% of what I call the first weekend homes. The second half of the market, we're actually seeing listings, and this is all up and down the East Coast. Now, certain markets might be a little hotter than others. We know that. But half of the market is actually what I call our opportunities are. These are houses that are staying on the market a little longer. These are houses where we're actually seeing listing price reductions. Wait a minute. Did you just say a listing price reduction? Mm-hmm. Yes, you see them. I look at that every day, and I encourage our sales team, go into marketplace and, go to Zillow, go to realtor.com. For the realtors, you go into the listing service and say, okay, where do I see price reductions? Those are where our opportunities are. And when we have clients that might need a little closing help or might need a little help with the pricing, you look at that half of the market. And honestly, Cindy, a lot of these houses are beautiful. It's not something that's in disrepair. It's something that, maybe it's a geographical issue. Maybe it's just priced wrong initially. Those are where the opportunities are. So it truly is a 50-50 opportunity. Where do you look for the opportunities? And depending on what you're looking for, that's where you go and make your offers.
Yeah, you got to get out of your comfort zone a little.
You do. And I think we have to think a little more strategically with our clients. For example, I hear all the time, I can't get closing help. Sellers won't pay closing help. Well, you're just asking the wrong sellers for the wrong properties. Like, one of the most common strategies, and honestly, this was a strategy we had in the 80s when I started in the business. But, what happens, for example, say I have a listing and it's a $450,000 listing and it's been on the market for 7 to 10 days. And they say, okay, we're having a price reduction. We're going to reduce the price by $10,000 to $15,000. I see this every day. And then there's, oh, wow, great price reduction. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to offer the price reduction and, $10,000 in closing cost help. Okay, well, that's not going to work. Change your strategy. Instead of having a $15,000 price reduction, which, by the way, does nothing for the client's payment, right? It's not really helping. And most of the clients looking to buy, especially for first-time home buyers, cash is king. They need help with closing costs. I can't get it. Well, you're not asking the right listing and you're not asking the right way. So instead of saying, hey, I want that $15,000 price reduction, go back and offer and say, you know what, I'm going to offer $450 with $15,000 worth of closing cost help. The math is exactly the same for the seller, right? They're going to net the same. What's the difference between lowering my price by $15,000 or just taking that money and giving it to a buyer to help them close, right? The math's the same. 15,000 is 15,000. But for our agents and our clients, I've just found closing cost help just by asking the right way. That's a wonderful strategy. And for sellers that are having, and it's funny, it's been on the market for 12 days. It's too long. Okay. When you're listing, for example, say $15,000 in closing cost help versus, a price reduction of $15,000, that's going to increase your prospects dramatically because all those people that couldn't get closing cost help can find it there. And that's a very effective way. I call it targeted buying and targeted selling, right? For my clients right now, go find price reductions, shift that to closing cost help. You can find closing cost help. And that's half the market right now.
Affordable housing is such an issue in Southwest Florida all over the place because, pricing has gone up and home pricing has gone up. So this seems like an avenue to help get someone into the home so that they can get that starter home and because the biggest gap is probably that down payment, right?
It is, Cindy. There's two things we need to think about in this housing market. Obviously, there is an interest rate shock in the market. The market's starting to normalize that. Part of the reason we had that quote pause in the latter part of 22 and the early part of 23, buyers really hadn't normalized the thought that rates were 3, now they're 6, approaching to 7, right? That's shock. Oh my gosh, right? Then what happens is they start to normalize that. Oh, okay, you know what? This is the new reality, right? I hate to use the word new norm because we hear it all the time, but that's the new reality. Say, okay, the market's not going to get any better. And then we have to realize that the mortgage is just a tool and it's a temporary tool. Right? If I buy today and rates are 6.5, we do anticipate, now it might be into 24, latter part of 23, maybe at its earliest, that rates will start to trend back down. Well, your client can always refinance. And what happens, Cindy, and this is why it's a perfect time for our clients, especially first-time home buyers, to find the right opportunity, use those cash strategies and targeted buying to get into your property. Because what happens is when rates start to decline again, guess what happens? Property values start to accelerate upward again. So now if I buy today and then rates drop, I refinance, right? And we'll offer all DF clients a free refinance. And then my property goes up and say, wait a minute, I win on two ends, right? Because now my property value's gone up and I can lower my payment, right? The mortgage are told, there's all, the adage out there, marry the house, date the rate. And that's kind of what you want to do. And then you take advantage because now as the property goes up, you're already in. If you wait, the property goes up, you've lost all that equity opportunity. So find the cash to get you into the property. And for most first-time home buyers, Cindy, you're not buying your forever home. You're buying your first home, right? My first home was the size of this table. And you had to go, it is a true story, I bought it when I was in college. And to get into the back bedroom, you had to go to the bathroom or the other bedroom, right? But that was my first house. It didn't matter. So.
Yeah. I mean, you're not marrying that home. It's not your forever home. Like it's a temporary spot and it's a stepping stone into something. Right. As your family grows and your life changes, your home's going to change.
Your home's going to change. And then the tools that you use to buy the home, right? They're flexible as market conditions change, right? That's one of the misnomers we have in the marketplace. Oh my gosh, rates are 7. I'm always going to be stuck with 7. Well, no, that's not true. Rates will fluctuate. And then you can use that tool and you work with lending professionals and real estate professionals to help you use those tools to improve your cash flow when it comes in. But you're right. The biggest driver is cash to close. And that's the biggest complaint I get is I can't get seller help. Yes, you can. You're just not looking at the right place. Look at that half of the marketplace. I mean, I do it in Naples and in the counties in Florida. I go in, I said, okay, how many listings can I find that have price reductions? There's surprisingly quite a few. Right. And those are where I take my clients that need that seller help.
Absolutely. Listing inventory is up and, rates may be up a little bit, but listing inventory is up. So it sounds like we just need to dig a little bit deeper for these hidden gems and look for these opportunities.
Right, Cindy. It's really all about working a little harder, working a little smarter, and thinking outside the box a little bit. right? You say, okay, let me find those opportunities and target my clients to those opportunities, right? Everybody chases the shiny penny. If I'm driving down the house and I see 27 cars waiting to go to the open house, I'm probably not looking at that one, right? Let me go back and let me look at some of the ones that I'm not competing against 1,000 people, and they're there. It's even in Florida, it's in DC, it's everywhere. Even what I would consider superheated markets, there's opportunities.
Absolutely. And while people are searching, there is the FDM Purchase Power Program, right? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Cindy, that's a huge one. A lot of our competitors like Rocket Mortgage, they give you what I call a looky look, right? They pull the credit and say, oh, yeah, Cindy, based on what you told me on the phone and me pulling your credit, this is what you can qualify for. Okay, that does nothing for you. What the FDM Purchase Power is, it makes you a cash equivalent buyer, right? The FDM Purchase Power is a fully underwritten mortgage approval. We've looked at your credit. We've looked at your income. We've looked at your cash close. We said, Cindy, you know what? Except for the appraisal, which even a cash buyer should want an appraisal, and the title work, and you can't close without title work, right? Your loan is done. Find a home, your loan is done. Now, we will also, if you're worried about interest rates, we'll give you 120-day rate lock protection. So I can lock in your rate. You can go shop in the house. You don't have to worry about your rate moving away from you. And in addition to that, we'll add the free refinance to that. So when rates improve, we'll actually refinance you at no cost to you. So it's a powerful tool because now you can go make an offer, and it's what I call cash equivalent. And that will help your offer stand out when you're competing against other people that say, okay, I have a looky look pre-approval. You can go to them and say, you know what, my mortgage is done, right? As long as the property appraises. And by the way, very few properties are not getting appraised value now. And the title issues are the title issues, whether you're paying cash or getting a mortgage. Anyway, so it gives you the power. So the FDM Purchase Power has been a very successful tool. And I would encourage your clients and the DF realtors to use this because it makes you, quote, cash equivalent.
Absolutely. Well, for our Downing-Frye agents, we're going to put the phone number and the email address in the description below on this video. So make sure that you reach out to FDM to learn more about this program. And if you need a little more ideas to market your properties, connect with your clients, potentially do some outreach to people who are out of the market in the past, FDM's team is here to help you and help you succeed and build a real winning strategy for every season. So
absolutely, Cindy. We enjoy strategizing on the way to get that opportunities. You said something that's really important. I think it's critical for us, and we want to build that sales momentum, both from a realtor standpoint and a lending standpoint, going into this year, into the spring selling season, preparing ourselves for when the market slows a little bit, which it always does. There's some seasonality aspects to our business. All of the people that missed out over the last couple of years, those are opportunities for us, right? It doesn't matter why. Maybe it's because they didn't have the cash to close. Well, now you can find it for them, right? Pull them back into the marketplace, right? Maybe they had challenged credit. There's strategies that over the next 4 or 5 months, we can get them in a position to buy. So if you're looking for opportunities, maybe you don't have as much momentum as you did in the last 2 years, go back to people that you couldn't sell for whatever reason. Let's pull them back into the marketplace and find some opportunities.
absolutely. And every other week, Brett and I are going to run this podcast and bring some more ideas and strategies to help our agents move their business forward and keep that momentum going. And so I'm excited to keep the momentum going.
Let's keep the momentum's in the market. Let's keep our momentum going. Let's drink a lot of coffee. And for everybody out there, right, it's a 50-50 opportunity. Look at the right 50.
Precisely. All right. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Andy. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you for joining us for FDM Brews. Our team is here to answer your questions. Just call 239-359-6590 or email us at dfry@fdmhome.com.